Hello, I want to take a moment here at the beginning of the celebration. Hello, I want to take a moment here at the beginning of the Celebrate Hope annual luncheon and Red Kettle Kickoff to say thank you for the hard work that the Salvation Army is doing for our city. The Salvation Army has been a shining example of brotherly love by helping vulnerable members of our community, whether it's providing those who are hungry with a warm meal or those with no home a place to stay. The Salvation Army meets those needs without discrimination. When COVID-19 came to Philadelphia, the Salvation Army was there to lean on, lend a hand, offer assistance, and provide hope at a time when the world was facing unprecedented challenges. The work you do is needed, now more than ever. So enjoy your virtual luncheon and Red Kettle Kickoff, and thank you again to the members and partners of the Salvation Army as you continue to do the most good for the residents of Philadelphia. Good luck.
Hello, I'm Dave Hackett, member of the Salvation Army Advisory Board and chair of the Celebrate Hope Annual Luncheon and Red Kettle Kickoff Host Committee. Thank you for joining us today. While this is not the event we originally envisioned, we know with your help we can still come together and provide hope for those in our community. We want to take a moment to acknowledge some of our supporters who have made today's program possible. Just like in our in-person events, we have a few friends who are sponsoring today's event. So we'd like to take this time to say thanks.
Greetings. We at Wells Fargo are so excited to be here with you and even more honored to serve as presenting sponsor because we believe in the remarkable impact that Salvation Army has on the region. We wanted to invest a little bit more during a time when those who need the most help also need the most hope. Lastly, congratulations to our honorees, AJ Jordan and Romy Diaz. Thank you for filling us with hope in everything you do. Enjoy the program.
For over 15 years, the Scheller Family Foundation has been a friend and supporter of the Salvation Army, whose programs improve the lives of those in need.
This year, we are proud to support the Salvation Army Red Shield Family Residence, a safe and welcoming homeless shelter that provides loving, compassionate, and non-judgmental services to ensure families are empowered to become self-sufficient.
On behalf of the Scheller Family Foundation, congratulations to today's honorees.
And thanks to the Salvation Army for your service to our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Team Ward. Team Ward construction professionals perform with a client-centric focus and the ability to provide to their clients a fast-track renovation or to construct a new building. For over 20 years, the Salvation Army has partnered with Team Ward on multiple projects and events. We are grateful for their support and for their work in Greater Philadelphia area.
Special thanks to our friends at PECO. Through our partnership, we are able to meet the need and provide measurable and sustainable services to those in our community.
Thank you to Coase & O'Connor. The attorneys at Coase & O'Connor make it a priority to contribute to the welfare of their community by their involvement in cultural, civic, educational, and social service organizations. The Salvation Army is grateful to Coase & O'Connor's partnership, and especially for Dave Hackett, who chairs the host committee this year.
Thank you to Health Partners Plans. For over 30 years, they've made doing it right more than just a slogan. They've partnered with the Salvation Army to actively go out into our shared communities and to offer a helping hand to families and individuals in need. Thank you for your support.
A special thank you to HERS. For the past few years, the Salvation Army has been honored to receive a donation from the HERS company that serves as the initial gift for our annual Christmas campaign.
And finally, we want to say thank you to all of you. It's because of donors and sponsors like you that the Salvation Army is able to help those in need in our community. If you would like to join with us and donate today, please click on the link above this video. We are so grateful for your continued commitment to work with the Salvation Army to provide change, hope, and restoration to individuals, families, and seniors in need in our community. This pandemic has highlighted how much the Salvation Army is needed to help those in need. And with your support, we're able to meet that need and help our community. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Hello and welcome to the Salvation Army's Celebrate Hope annual luncheon and Red Kettle Kickoff, celebrating the great work the Salvation Army does in Greater Philadelphia. I'm 6 ABC News anchor Alicia Vitarelli. Join me for the next few minutes as we celebrate hope and highlight some of what the Salvation Army is doing in our community, the partners and volunteers who make it possible, and kick off the Christmas season with a new initiative I know you will want to hear all about. Now, I know this may not feel or look or especially taste like a typical annual luncheon, but the purpose and mission are as real as they've ever been, and the Salvation Army needs your help to continue doing the most good for the city of Philadelphia. At any time during the event, we invite you to click the link above this video to donate to help support the Salvation Army. This year, the funds raised will go directly to support programs, initiatives, and shelters that will serve those in our community who are without a home. As we celebrate hope this year, we want to share with you the stories of some of our friends who have spent time as residents at the Salvation Army's Eliza Shirley House, a shelter for families here in Philadelphia. Each of their stories is a reminder that hope is not an abstract concept, but rather a reality that is available to anyone and everyone. Our first story is one of true sacrifice and a wonderful example of putting others' needs before our own as we work together towards the hope of togetherness.
The Salvation Army in Philadelphia operates 2 emergency shelters for families. We also operate 2 supportive housing programs for chronically homeless individuals. Additionally, we have 2 senior housing programs for low-income senior citizens over the age of 62.
We ended up here in the shelter because of domestic violence. My grandson and his girlfriend, my daughter and her boyfriend, they were abusive to Stephanie, and I had to get Stephanie out of that situation, so I took the proper channels to remove her from the house and take full custody of my granddaughter.
Her granddaughter's a joy, and she's a very, very sweet girl.
Sometimes after eating dinner, I go to the play room and I hang out with the little kids because I love helping the little ones.
And Salvation Army here at Eliza Shirley, they definitely give, and we definitely receive. It is a place of rebuilding. It's a place of renewedness. They are true servants. They care about Stephanie, helping her, encouraging her. I mean, this constant encouragement, everybody.
Wanda brightens my day. And every time that I go by Wanda, she is smiling. She is such a positive influence on the community. She has a great faith that things will get better for herself and her granddaughter.
My short-term goal is to get me a home for Stephanie and myself.
Good afternoon, friends. I'm Lieutenant Colonel Larry Ashcraft, Divisional Commander for the Salvation Army here in eastern Pennsylvania and Delaware. My wife Janet and I have been here now for about 1.5 years, and I must say that we have been made to feel absolutely at home here in Philadelphia.
That's so true. We have had the privilege of meeting and working with many of you, especially during this time of COVID-19. And every day we feel more and more like we truly do belong here.
Well, almost every day. You see, I grew up in Columbus, Ohio, and if you know anything about growing up in Ohio, the first thing you're taught as a very young child is the proper response to OH.
I-O!
Yes, I'm a fan of the Ohio State Buckeyes here in Nittany Lion Country. Even on Saturdays, when I wear my scarlet and gray, this community, even though sometimes they look askance at me, has welcomed me as one of their own.
When we think about the hope of togetherness, we think of just that, being accepted. Imagine a world where we as a society, without any hesitation, love, respect, and care for each other, regardless of race, ethnicity, religion, sexual orientation, gender identity, or even something as frivolous as a favorite football team.
There's nothing frivolous about that. Truly, a city where compassion is shown and grace is given. This is truly a city of brotherly love that bears that description.
That is the mission of the Salvation Army here in Philadelphia.
It is our distinct privilege to introduce you to this year's recipient of the Salvation Army's Others Award, Romulo Diaz, a man who lives this ideal every day. This award is the highest honor the Salvation Army has for our partners and volunteers and is named for the reason we do what we do.
Romy, as he is better known, is a wonderful embodiment of the mission of the Salvation Army and the hope of togetherness that we all strive for.
This award that Romy is receiving is so typical of him because he's always reaching out to others. It's often been said, don't tell me you care, show me you care. And he does that on a consistent basis, not sometimes, but all the time.
You know, when I think of Romy's character, I think of high integrity. He's always following his moral compass. He's got a great sense of humor. You know, he doesn't take himself too seriously, and he's just a lot of fun to be around.
He's consistently consistent, he's caring, and he's charismatic.
I grew up literally one block from the wrong side of the tracks in small town East Texas. My dad immigrated from Venezuela during World War II. My mom immigrated from Mexico as an infant with her family, fleeing from the Mexican Revolution. And so a lot of people would say, you know, how did I possibly succeed, much less thrive? And I think that's frankly my story. I was helped by a lot of people to be successful. That's what motivates me to try to give back to the community.
Romy's greatest contribution is his empathy and ability to feel what other people feel and to know that he can assist in some way.
I remember when I was outed on the front page of the Washington Post and read about it on my way to work in 1993. I was in the back of a cab and saw that there was an article on high-ranking Clinton administration appointees who were openly gay. And I thought, I bet this is really interesting. I wonder who they are. And found that the first name in the article was mine, and I wasn't openly gay. But I learned from that situation that there were a lot of people who needed someone to understand them, to represent them, and to speak for them. One of the easiest words in the American language is no. It simply is very difficult for me to say no.
You know, I don't think he ever says no when someone asks him for help. You know, whether it's an organization with a big strategic or complex problem, or whether it's one of scores of individuals who count Romy as their mentor, he always seems to find the way to make the time to help and to make a difference. He just has this tremendous ability to think broadly and strategically, coupled with an ability to really connect with people on a very personal and individual level. I mean, I know how much the Salvation Army, its mission and its people mean to Romy, and I know that this is an award that'd be very meaningful to him.
I think it's important to say why we're here, and it's to celebrate and support the great work of the Salvation Army. And it's clearly one example of why I can't say no. Whether it's helping the victims of Hurricane Katrina in New Orleans, helping to provide needed supplies to Puerto Rico following Hurricane Maria, or providing for earthquake victims in Mexico. They do great work, and I'm honored to be a part of that.
I just want to celebrate him today and say congratulations, job well done.
So it is our distinct privilege to give the Salvation Army's Others Award to Romy Diaz.
Thank you, Lieutenant Colonels Larry and Janet Ashcraft, and thank you to the Salvation Army Greater Philadelphia for the Others Award, which I humbly accept. I also want to thank my friends Dr. Lorena Marshall-Blake and Mike Innocenzo for their kind and generous introductions. And of course, I congratulate my friend and fellow honoree, AJ. I confess to mixed feelings about receiving the Others Award. primarily because there are so many other deserving folks in our community, but I also believe that this award recognizes the generous spirit and community service of my former colleagues at PECO, so I accept the award in their name as well. But most of all, I want to take a moment to bring attention to the amazing work of the Salvation Army and its people, especially during this challenging time for our country and indeed the world. And the one thing that has always characterized the Salvation Army throughout its history is that they have always been there during times of greatest need. I remember, for example, 3 years ago, when my former colleagues and I worked closely with the Salvation Army and the Reverend Bonnie Camarda to bring needed assistance to Puerto Rico following Hurricane Maria, and to Mexico following 2 devastating earthquakes. The Salvation Army has often brought the same level of support to my home state of Texas following natural disasters. But today, the Salvation Army is battling an even more pernicious disaster, COVID-19, and needs your help to continue providing its selfless service to others that we all have come to expect and admire. Over the past 6 months, for example, the Salvation Army Greater Philadelphia has risen to the occasion and served over 3 million meals. That is twice the number of meals the Salvation Army Greater Philadelphia would normally serve in a year. But unfortunately, this isn't a normal year, and the need for help remains high. As someone who grew up in a small town in East Texas, the son of immigrants and the first in my family to attend college, I know what it's like to live on the edge and struggle to make ends meet for your family. That's why I am so thankful that we have heroes like those in the Salvation Army who are willing to provide meals, housing, and the necessities of life without consideration to race, ethnicity, gender, religion, or sexual orientation. In other words, to serve others without hesitation and without discrimination. We are all part of a community that continues to struggle with the effects of COVID-19. But you can help prevent a child or a family from being hungry or homeless tonight. So please, take advantage of the opportunity of the upcoming holiday season to do good and feel good about yourself. In closing, I want to thank the Salvation Army Greater Philadelphia for this wonderful honor, and most importantly, for all that they are doing to make this holiday season a shining example of hope for us all. Thank you, and stay well.
Congratulations, Romy, and thank you for all of your hard work and dedication helping others. Our second story brings to light one of our most basic human desires, a sense of safety. It can be as simple as a mother's words as their child leaves for school, making sure everyone has food to eat, a roof over their head, and enough money to pay the power bill. It may also be finding a place to live that is free of violence and other harmful situations. The Salvation Army, at the heart of its mission, desires to provide hope for safety for anyone and everyone who asks, just as they have done for so many, including one of our friends. Take a look.
So me and my 12-year-old daughter, Mia, we ended up in the shelter homeless due to gun violence in my neighborhood. My son was shot, and he survived, but unfortunately, we just didn't feel as though that it was a safe environment anymore. So then I wound up here at the Eliza Shirley House.
At the Salvation Army, we offer hope and help to individuals. When they look at us, we want them to know that they have not been forgotten, that they have one more chance, that we love them, that we will walk hand in hand with them and stand in the gap.
Biggest misconception that I think they have about homeless people are that we are lazy, we are looking for handouts.
They're not lazy. They're people that have lost their home. I couldn't imagine losing my home, and most people couldn't. And they're looking for us to be able to help them.
To be honest, I don't know what would have happened if it hadn't been for the Salvation Army. Besides giving me hope, it's giving me an opportunity to get my life back on track. It's giving me an opportunity that I probably couldn't have found nowhere else. You know, nobody else was lending out a hand when my son got shot, not even my own family. To have here to turn to, it definitely was a blessing.
Good afternoon. I'm Reverend Dr. Lorena Marshall Blake, President of the Independence Blue Cross Foundation. I am pleased to be with you today to speak on behalf of the wonderful work the Salvation Army is doing here in the city of Philadelphia. Almost 10 years ago, my organization, the Independence Blue Cross Foundation, was founded to help find sustainable solutions to improve the health and well-being of those in our city and in our community, primarily those in our low income and disadvantaged and vulnerable populations. We have led many people to find access to health care and have helped to build a safety net for them and their families. And as we began our work, we realized very quickly there was another organization in town that shared our passion for people. That's right, the Salvation Army. I have had the privilege to see firsthand the amazing work that this organization does for the people of Philadelphia. I have even had the chance to volunteer as a bell ringer during the Christmas season. Let me tell you, if you ever get the opportunity to be a bell ringer, do it. It is one of the most blessings and wonderful things I've ever had the opportunity to do. People from every walk of life come up, they stop, they give what they can and have a moment of genuine human connection, gratitude, and good cheer before they went back to their daily job. But what brings even more joy to my heart is to see where all the money goes. Today, we are talking about hope. In this day and age of COVID-19 and social distancing, it can be very easy to lose that glimmer of optimism. We don't know what lies ahead of us, and what we once found predictable has proven to be anything but. But most of all, right now, we all hope that we are safe and healthy and able to have what we need to live our lives. This should not be a pipe dream, but rather something afforded to everyone. And it is because of organizations like the Salvation Army that a hope for safety can become a reality in a person's life. In order to continue providing the best quality services for our community members who are without a home, the Salvation Army needs our help. Please take the time and click the link above this video to donate. The shelter programs in the city are needed now more than ever, and however much you can give will go a long way toward helping people find housing, find food, and other basic human needs that we all deserve to have. It is personal for me when I look at all the wonderful work that the Salvation Army does in our great city, and I hope it is personal for you too. So please take the time and join with me to support the amazing work the Salvation Army is doing to provide the hope for safety for so many in our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Lorena, and thank you to those who have already donated to help support the Salvation Army's 7 sheltering programs for those who have no place to call home. I want you to take a moment and think about a normal day in your life. What does it look like? Each day is often the same. You get up, go to work, go to school, go about your day without worry that the routine might change. But then something unexpected hits. Unforeseen car trouble, medical bills, downsizing at work, or even a global pandemic. A person once able to make ends meet now finds themselves in need of some hope. Our third story reminds us that even when things don't always go as we think they should, we all still strive toward the hope for stability.
I have worked at the Eliza Shirley House now for 32 years. I actually was one of the first people that opened the doors in 1988, and I am the executive director. We have a variety of different people that come here looking for help. A family could become homeless because they're in a domestic dispute, because they have mental health issues, because they were evicted from their home. because they've got drug and alcohol issues. Each family is assigned a caseworker that will help them with their housing paperwork and get all of the paperwork that they need to get them into housing. While they're staying here, they may need help with their birth certificate. They may need some legal advice. They may need some counseling. We have doctors come on site. We have lawyers. We have a variety of different volunteers that come on site that help people. We have reading groups. We have people that do collages. We have bingo. We have karaoke. We have arts and craft. We try to take their minds off the difficulty of being in a shelter environment. The men and women that are coming in with their children want to succeed. They want to have a place to stay. They want to do this on their own. They don't want a handout. They're not asking you to do it for them. They're asking you for some guidance. They're asking you for some assistance. And they're looking for us to be able to help them get to the next place.
Good afternoon. I'm Kira McGrath, Advisory Board Chair of the Salvation Army's Ray and Joan Kroc Center here in Philadelphia. It is my great pleasure to tell you about my friend, A.J. Jordan, this year's recipient of the Salvation Army's Doing the Most Good Award. Over the past 8 years, as I've worked with A.J., I have witnessed firsthand his dedication to making a positive impact in our community. With a background in social work and a heart for people, A.J. is a passionate advocate for children and families, willing to use his time and talent for the greater good. He is committed to meeting human needs in not only his professional life, but also as a volunteer for the Salvation Army. A.J. is truly the definition of someone who strives to do the most good.
A.J. has an unwavering commitment to what is considered to be fair and just. That requires a deep sense of compassion.
Where he and I connect most deeply is around the uplifting of urban young people, especially lower income kids of color. That's where we met many years ago, and we continue to work on these issues today.
I've had the good fortune in every role I've had throughout my career to work with young people, but particularly young people in under-resourced communities, those who struggle with poverty, many who are living in homelessness or on the verge of homelessness. And what I found is that the only thing that really separated them from others who were successful in life is opportunity, is mentorship, is people that's willing to take them under their wing and provide them with the type of opportunity they need to be successful.
Underrepresented people and people who have been historically marginalized don't need our charity. They don't need our passion for community. They need our strategic investment and our generous time to really be part of the community that they are suffering in. And AJ has been a remarkable facilitator of those investments and those opportunities that provide fair jobs, fair education, and fair housing.
And AJ is a role model and a friend and a mentor to so many kids, many of whom are now doing great things in our city.
Service to others and getting out in the community is just something that's part of my DNA and part of my upbringing. Both my parents were really active in the community and always raised us to be involved and do everything we can to give back and support those who don't have all the resources and supports that we had growing up.
I think that AJ's greatest contribution in his leadership work is being able to identify a large set of resources, some that he controls, others that he doesn't but he knows of, and how to marshal those resources and work with others, with people on the front lines, to be able to drive real impact.
His greatest contribution to helping others is reminding people that no matter what role you are in, you are always in a role of service. When he brings his daughters, his beautiful daughters, Olivia and Elena, to a volunteer service event, you can see the hope and pride that they have in their eyes.
And I think one of the most important legacies you can leave as a parent is the legacy you lead in planting the seed in your children around doing good. I think doing the most good is in your personal life, in your professional life, doing all you can to have as much community impact as possible.
That AJ's never been about accolades. He's never been about his profile in the work. For him, it's about the work itself. He's the real deal.
I'm really honored to present this award to my friend, A.J. Jordan.
Well, thank you, Kira, so much. I am honored and humbled to receive this award. You know, one of the highlights of my work over the past 8 years has been the opportunity to serve on the Salvation Army Kroc Center Advisory Council. First and foremost, I want to say congratulations to my fellow honoree, Diaz, a truly amazing corporate and civic leader for so many years in this city. Thank the incredible team at the Salvation Army, the dynamic husband and wife duo, Tawny and Kevin Zanders, my good friend Bonnie Camarda, the event committee members, and so many that make everything work so well at the Salvation Army. You know, over 100 years ago, Salvation Army co-founder Catherine Booth said, "The waters are rising, but so am I. I'm not going under, but over." And a century later, we face our own rising waters as we find ourselves at an important inflection point in our country's history. The rising waters of the painful legacy of systemic racism and racialized violence. The rising waters in the age of COVID, where billionaires have seen their wealth increase over the past few months by over $800 billion, while Salvation Army families living in shelters have fallen deeper into poverty. But despite our many challenges as a region, we can remain optimistic when the Salvation Army continues to serve as a beacon of light and hope for so many. Like Catherine Booth said, "The waters are rising, but so are we." Today, let's truly honor the mission of the Salvation Army by rising up together and working with a greater sense of purpose and urgency to uplift and support and engage with our most marginalized children and families across this region. So thanks again to the Salvation Army for this incredible award. I'll close out by sharing a timely poem written by the late civil rights icon, Dr. Benjamin Mays, over 50 years ago. Dr. Mays said, "I only have a minute, 60 seconds in it. Forced upon me, I did not choose it, but I know that I must use it, give account if I abuse it, suffer if I lose it, only a tiny little minute, but eternity is in it." Let us never forget that every minute in our country, a child is born into poverty. And every minute in this country, a child drops out of high school. As a group of caring individuals committed to supporting the mission of the Salvation Army, let's not waste another minute in sacrificing a little more of our time, sacrificing a little more of our resources, and sacrificing a little more of our privilege, the privilege that many of us have to work remotely, for example, to uplift and support those Salvation Army families who are counting on our support the most. So thank you, thanks for being here, and it's an honor to receive this award. Thank you.
Thank you, AJ, for your continued support and dedication to the work and mission of the Salvation Army. It is because of people like AJ and Romy and you that the Salvation Army is able to continue to do the most good for the most people in the most need in the city of Philadelphia. Our fourth and final story reminds us that even in the darkest times, the Salvation Army has always been and will continue to be a beacon of hope for the future.
My daughter and I were homeless 18 years ago. She was 3 years old at the time. I didn't have the proper support that I needed for her. And that's when I reached out to the Salvation Army. I went to the Red Shield and I asked them with tears in my eyes, help me. I wanted to be a good dad. The Salvation Army helped me with my parenting skills. They assisted me with daycare. Since leaving the Salvation Army, since that time, I've bought 2 homes. I have a company called Community Career Builders where we contract with the city of Philadelphia, and we provide services to homeless individuals, dislocated workers, and we provide training. I'm also a member of the Salvation Army Advisory Board. Now I sit in a position to help set policies and give my best advice, not just as a board member, but as a former client.
It's a joy. It's a joy to see residents succeed, because when they do succeed and they've gone out and they've got their own place, that they come back and they show you the keys. And just to know their journey makes my job worthwhile.
If it hadn't been for the Salvation Army, I don't think I would be the man that I am. I don't think that I would be the parent that I am. And that was the most important thing to me, being a good parent. And they showed a lot of love and compassion, and I try to give that back daily.
Good afternoon. I'm I'm Major Tawny Cowan-Zanders, Divisional Secretary for Greater Philadelphia. The stories you have seen presented throughout the event today are just a small sampling of those who have been blessed by the ministry of the Salvation Army's shelter programs here in the Greater Philadelphia area. Because of generous donations from people like you, the Salvation Army provided 146,716 nights of shelter in 2019. When the COVID-19 protocols came into effect in our city, the Salvation Army's employees were among those named essential workers. Over the past 8 months, our locations across the greater Philadelphia area have been able to maintain their pre-pandemic days of operation and have provided much-needed services to those in our community. This includes all 16 of our local community centers, shelters, residences, and work sites. Our case managers have been able to maintain working with our clients both virtually and in some necessary cases in person. And to those in our city who have needed some food from their families, the Salvation Army has had the privilege of providing nearly 3 million meals. As it was before the pandemic and as it still is now, the Salvation Army is here for good, providing hope for the future of so many in the greater Philadelphia area. As the Christmas season approaches, we as an organization have had to think critically about what this year's season of giving might look like. The Salvation Army Red Kettle campaign not only supports our organization's ability to provide much-needed assistance at Christmas time, but also supports our year-round social service programming. We have seen the need in our community, and we are here to help our community. This year, we are launching a new Christmas campaign to run alongside our regular Red Kettle effort. This new initiative, called Rescue Christmas, is designed to do just that, to provide for and to care for those in need during the Christmas season. We hope you and your loved ones join with us as we work to rescue Christmas.
You are not hidden. There's never been a moment you were forgotten. You are not hopeless. Though you have been broken, your innocence stolen. I will send out an army to find you in the middle of the darkest night. It's true.
Hello, I'm Judy Lynch, Advisory Board Chair for the Salvation Army of Greater Philadelphia. At this time of year, the Salvation Army would normally hold the Red Kettle Kickoff event, and shortly after, we would see the iconic visual everywhere. A person bundled up, ringing a little golden bell, standing next to a red stand with a sign that says, "Sharing is caring," or "Doing the most good," embezzled with the red shield we all know so well. And hanging from a chain, one of these, a red kettle, like many of you seen before. I find myself dropping change or a few dollars into the red kettle as I enter or exit the supermarket, knowing every little bit helps. In fact, my children and many children's first charitable donation is putting their coins into the red kettle. This year, as our country continues to feel the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, the Red Kettle effort faces new obstacles. People are doing the holiday shopping online and not going to stores. People are maintaining social distancing and not approaching a person ringing the bell. People are also not carrying cash like they used to. Because of these challenges and more, the Salvation Army is providing new ways for you to still partner with us to help rescue Christmas for those in need in our communities. You can sign up at www.saphilly.org to pledge a monthly amount of $25. There are other opportunities for you to give digitally using Apple Pay or Google Pay at any Red Kettle in the Philadelphia area. You can even ask Alexa in your home to donate by saying, "Hey Alexa, donate to the Salvation Army, please," and then you can specify an amount. On behalf of myself and the entire advisory board, please join us in helping the Salvation Army rescue Christmas this holiday season.
Major Tawny, we're happy to present this, what might be one of the first Christmas gifts for the Salvation Army this year. To you on your Red Kettle campaign, we're happy to be a part of it, and we sincerely hope it helps you to do the most good in Philadelphia.
Ed, we thank you, Chipper, the whole Her Food family for this generous donation that will help us to continue to do the most good for the most people with the most needs in Greater Philadelphia. Thank you.
Awesome.
CBS 3 is a proud partner of the Joy of Sharing Toy Fest. 2020 will be different, but our commitment to spread the joy of the holidays will never change. There are children and families who need us more than ever. Giving feels good. So let's spread some joy and make this season brighter for our local community. Show your generosity. Show you care. Join CBS 3 and support this year's Joy of Sharing Toy Fest.
When times are tough, the Philadelphia area family comes together. That's why we're counting on you to help.
Rescue Christmas. It's a message that resonates more than ever this year.
We know the needs are great in the Philadelphia community, and we also know it takes an army to meet those needs.
When you head out the door, make sure you take some extra cash to put in the first red kettle you see.
Or use your phone to socially distance and make a tax-deductible donation via Apple Pay or Google Pay.
Usted también puede donar en cualquier momento del día en línea por saphilly.org.
You can also donate online any time of the day at saphilly.org.
The Salvation Army is making it safe and easy to give this year, wherever you are.
And if you can't give financially, you can still help rescue Christmas for those in need.
How? By sharing the donation link with everyone you know via email, social media, or word of mouth.
What's the link? saphilly.org.
That's saphilly.org.
It's time for all of us to roll up our sleeves and help spread joy this holiday season.
Rescue Christmas.
Rescate la Navidad.
Rescue Christmas.
Rescue Christmas.
On behalf of everyone who will benefit,
muchísimas gracias.
Thank you for making a difference.
It's always wonderful when we as a community of broadcasters can unite in support of such a worthy cause. We are just about at the end of our time together. The link above this video is still active for you to be able to donate and support the Salvation Army's shelter programs. To support Rescue Christmas, please visit saphilly.org. On behalf of the Salvation Army, I'm 6ABC's Alicia Vitarelli. Thank you so much for joining us today. Please join with Major Juanita Stanford as she gives our closing prayer.
Let's pray together. Gracious God, we thank you for the opportunity to be together and to gather in this way. Although we're distant from each other, technology has allowed us to join in one accord to celebrate exceptional community leaders and to rally around those who are vulnerable in our community. Lord, you've raised up and you continue to raise up people who will champion the cause for life and the dignity of others. And we're privileged to be your hands and feet to neighbors in this great city. We trust you, Lord, to send faithful partners who will continue to support this vital work. We live in a time of uncertainty, but we know that our hope is in you. And so, Lord, in this season, may you continue to move us with compassion so that we are mindful of the needs of others. May hope continue to do a good work in every man, every woman, boy, and girl. I pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
On behalf of Salvation Army officers and staff, thank you for your generous support. Because of you, we are able to help our neighbors in need.
Thank you. With your support, we're able to help those in our community without a home.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for helping local families make ends meet.
Thank you
Thanks to your generous support, we're able to provide food to those in need.
Thank you.
Thank you for helping us provide a safe place for kids to go after school.
Thank you. Gracias.
With your help, we're able to feed our neighbors in our community.
Thank you.
Thanks to you, kids have a safe place to play.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for helping us provide food to those in need.
Thank you.
Your support helps us to provide early childhood and after-school educational programs.
Thank you.
Thank you for helping us be a beacon of hope in our community.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for helping us to do the most good for our community.
Gracias. With your help, we can provide food for our communities. Con su ayuda, nosotros podemos proveer comida a la comunidad.
Thank you.
Because of you, we're able to grow fresh, organic vegetables for people in our community.
Thank you very much.
With your help, we can support our neighbors in need.
Thanks.
Thank you for helping us show God's love in the city of brotherly love.
Thank you very much.
People today need the Salvation Army more than ever. So thank you for helping us to help others.